Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our second episode of Accelerating Digital Operations. Now, just before the pandemic, the whole concept of digital transformation was seen as maybe not trivial, but a luxury. A lot of companies had long-term plans, mid-term plans with digital transformation incorporated. Not many companies thought they'll be in the position that they're in now. Now, post-pandemic, a new normal has emerged where digital transformation has become the life source of some companies, and other companies have scrambled just to keep in pace with what's happening economically. Now, our panelists, Prasad Kadiala and Meher Talpade, will be talking about the latest trends in digital transformation and also second level detail enablers on how to facilitate digital transformation. But before I go any further, I'm going to introduce our sponsor and our host, eClerx Digital. Now, in a nutshell, eClerx is a company that applies technology to resolve business solutions and develop solutions and resolve business challenges. Our mission as a business is to make you perform better in the digital space. Now, we have technology in our DNA. Now, this we have done for over 20 years, so we are very experienced. Now, as a business, we've dealt with Fortune 500 companies, medium-sized companies, everything digital. We handle end to end, and we cover so many industries. Now, with a 10,000 staff strength, spread over parts of the United States, Europe, and Asia, we're able to provide almost 24-hour cover in terms of solutions. Now, without any further ado, I'm just going to introduce our first panelist. But I'll just a few announcements before that. Now, if you do have any questions, there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Please click on that button and type your questions. At the end of the presentation, I will be asking the panelists your questions, and they shall give us answers as well. And for those of you who might want to know more about eClerx, and maybe you might even have questions that you'd like to discuss one-to-one, we have a meeting facility where you can actually book a time to speak with myself or the panelists one-to-one. Now, this link will be sent to you after the webinar. So for now, I'll just introduce our next panelist as Prasad Kadiala. Now, Prasad has over 15 years of analytics experience and client strategy leadership. He has dealt with major brands like M&S, Sky, and Adidas, so he is a wealth of experience when it comes to analytics. So I'll just like to give you the floor now, Prasad. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Sholok. Thanks, everyone. And thanks for joining this webinar. It's really interesting to meet people, like-minded people, and share some of the experience and expertise that we see our clients looking to invest in. So without further delay, I'll today focus on the key digital trends that a lot of our clients are seeing, primarily in the retail and CPG world, what's influencing them, and then I would focus on some of the solutions that our clients are building. Hopefully, we can cover all of this in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then focus on taking some of your questions, and I'll try my best to answer them. One of the key things that we are seeing across this industry of retail and CPG is there is a significant move, probably accelerated by the pandemic as well, to a more data-driven and personalized world for the end customer. This is being actually influenced by two key things. One is the technology is moving very fast, and it's actually becoming cheaper and cheaper to invest in technology and maintain it. But at the same time, there are certain macroeconomic trends whereby the disposable income has changed. People are probably not so keen on shopping in the same way they used to in the past, because of which there is a prevalence towards sort of creating a seamless experience across various channels for the end customer, and thereby hoping to have achieve the customer loyalty as well as gain the share of wallet. So for today, what we thought was maybe let's focus on three key aspects. What are the key trends that are developing with a focus on the customer? What are the key trends that are developing with a focus on the companies achieving their revenue targets? And also from a cost standpoint, what is it that our clients are focusing on? So as you can see, one of the very first things, primarily because of digital acceleration, whereby companies are being forced to think about various channels, not only the physical store, but also the digital estate, both in terms of e-commerce, mobile web, mobile commerce, app, etc., is a test and learn culture. One of our largest clients, for that matter, Adidas and the likes, have such a huge scale of this test and learn culture that pretty much every function, every feature in their customer experience, when it comes to digital estate, is tested, validated, the ROI proven before it goes live to the wider audience. Because the lack of doing so is a huge risk, primarily in terms of retaining your customers, but at the same time converting the customers that come to your digital estates. The next point is slightly more focused on the cost. There, not so long ago, maybe just 5 years ago, most of our data systems, etc., were on premise, which meant huge licensing costs, huge infrastructure costs, etc., that were probably just money taken away from spending on focusing on your customers. So what we are seeing is our clients are asking us a lot of questions around what does it take to move from an on-premise to a more cloud-centric environment. Some of our clients have already made those investments, are reaping the rewards by reducing the total cost of ownership given within certain SLAs, etc. The third trend that we are seeing is in terms of serving personalized experiences in a more direct to consumer fashion. There was a time when brands relied heavily on the retailers. There were no other channels. Even if there was an e-commerce platform, it was mainly to get the brand out rather than looking at as a say shopping channel. But what we have seen is some of our clients actually have aggressive D2C targets. For example, one of the major clients, Adidas, and this is public information anyway, has a target of getting the 50% of their sales from a D2C business model by 2025, which is quite a huge target. So what I'm trying to drive to is when you are aiming for a direct to consumer model, we need to think about how can you personalize the experience and how can you provide a seamless experience. It shouldn't so happen that both Jack and Jill have the same experience, even though their product preferences, the intent of their visit is completely different. We'll talk a little more about that. And then launching products at speed and scale. One of the things that we have seen is there is a huge expansion in the number of products that are being launched across various businesses, not necessarily just retail, but also a lot of CPG firms. One of the key questions is how can I increase the speed and scale of this product launch while sort of reducing the churn and increasing the collaboration with my suppliers. And then finally, optimizing assortment. With the rise in or with the advance of digital platforms, how can you think about what products you should carry and what products you should not carry, but at the same time, what products should be visible in which channel? And how do you deal with functions like click and collect and LaSalle, etc.? Right? So that also impacts your revenue. And then finally, in terms of increasing your revenue, if you have a specific marketing budget, how should you think about sharing that marketing budget across various channels, keeping in mind that you have an ROI goal in mind? Right? So these are the 6 key trends that we see. And for today's presentation, sorry, just give me 1 second, please. Just 1 second, sorry. Sorry, Shola, do you have the deck that I had shared?
No, I'll just check.
Yeah, I think I might have it. Yes, sorry, I was just sharing. I mean, the content is the same, so please don't get me wrong. I got it. So let me just share.
Can I squeeze in a question while you're
Yeah, please
getting
go
the
on.
deck ready? Now, would
Please
you
go.
say that going digital has helped companies control more aspects of their business a lot better? Aspects relating to the access to the customers, whether it's through personalization or various channels.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good question, Shola. I would say it's a bit of both, primarily because we are going through a journey, we are going through an evolution, and we have seen certain customers, certain clients, for example, have a better control on the digital experiences they are serving to the end customers. About 4 years ago, when we were talking about A/B testing, test and learn culture, etc., a lot of the companies were still heavily reliant on, say, external agencies coming and telling them what to do, what not to do. But one of the key trends that we have seen now is companies have decided to take much stronger control on the sort of experiences they serve, because of which there are conversion rate optimization functions which companies have set up, and they coordinate with, for example, the likes of eClerks or any other services firm to help them achieve the scale. So what I'm trying to get to is the control is there in certain aspects and not in certain other aspects. But then I'm sure as we go through this journey over the next couple of years, we'll see a lot more changes. Yeah. Any other questions? I think there is a question. Are we taking questions at the end, Shola?
No, you can at the end. Yeah, towards the end, you can carry on for a second.
Okay, perfect. So today we'll talk about two key case studies where we have helped a really large sports apparel manufacturer deliver personalized experiences to their end customers. But at the same time, we all also talk a little bit about this increasing trend of cookieless world, whereby the the third-party cookies are being phased out by the likes of Google Chrome, and what does that mean for various companies and various use cases. I'll not take a lot of time, but just to give a context, this particular client of ours probably deals with nearly billions of visits to their digital estate across the world on a daily basis. Now, about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, when we first started with them, they were at a very nascent phase of thinking, okay, am I actually doing the right thing by showing pretty much every visitor the same experience, the same sequence of web pages, irrespective of where they came from, and irrespective of whether they are visiting us on the laptop or desktop or on their mobile devices. So what we thought of doing, and it's a much larger case, but I'll try to keep it short. The key question was, okay, how can we deliver personalized experiences to these customers instead of showing the same experience for everyone? So what we identified as an opportunity was, let's assume there is a global landing page for a particular campaign. And there is this category features card, which has been highlighted in the red box. So this particular features card has 4 products that we really want the customer to interact with. Now, what we have tried to do here is, depending on the visitor, depending on what we know about that visitor, can we actually try to personalize this card by showing different components to different visitors? And this is where we've leveraged an advanced analytics algorithm, leveraging machine learning to get the system to understand the customer's behavior, their intent, and thereby tie the right content to the right visitor. And how did we go about doing it? Essentially, that's a summation of 3 key questions. What's the customer's intent primarily behind their visit? And how can we leverage that intent to create, say, customer segments, thereby we know what is it that they're looking for? And then how do we develop personalized experiences? Because you can leverage a lot of advanced analytics, but at the end of it, you have to serve the right content to the right visitor. So what we tried to do here was to develop 13 different segments by leveraging some analytics, and tried to classify them as, okay, there is segment 7, which is women's running shoes. The next one is around women's training clothes, etc. So depending on what we know about the customer and which segment they sort of tie into, we were able to deliver different sets of content. Like you see, every segment had a specific content that we wanted them to interact with. And the key thing is this resulted in some good end metrics for the client. So there was a good improvement in click-through rates. There was a good improvement in revenue per visit, which was received really well. Now, purely in terms of how did we go about doing it, for anyone who's probably interested in the overall process, there are 3 key steps. One is obviously leveraging analytics and data to develop those segments and maybe even go further granular. I think in the back end, there are actually nearly 120 segments if we drill down. But at a high level, there are 13. And then you select the content. Like you work with your content developers to understand what each segment means, what's the behavior of the customer in that segment, and then try to develop content that's suitable to that segment, and then serve the content through various tools such as Monetate, etc., to essentially optimize the user experience, and then obviously test whether that optimization is working. Right. So as I said, we were able to do this quite successfully and delivered good results to the client. So then I do have one more case study, which is around personalizing the experience from a CRM standpoint. We did discuss how to personalize digital experiences. This is actually when, let's say, the user does not interact on the digital channels. Again, this is from a loyalty standpoint, a large UK retailer who have, I think now it's about 11 million loyalty card subscribers. And similarly, we were able to personalize various campaigns that they run, taking the campaign briefing, again, going through the same process of leveraging advanced analytics to identify from the campaign what is the offer that a particular customer would be very interested in redeeming. And then we would sort of score the customer on each and every offer, pick the top 5 offers for every customer, and send them the emails as well as pamphlets, etc., on paper. And what we saw was there was a good improvement of about 40% in profit per campaign, essentially the underlying margin. We saw 11% increase in order value, and also delivering about £4 million in uplift at a campaign level. Not only that, but we also saw that we were able to encourage customers to try various categories that they haven't otherwise thought about. Right? So again, just a quick case study for you to think about. And if you're interested, obviously, we are here to talk a lot more about it. Then, sorry, Shola, let me pause here and see if anyone has any questions, or I'll try to quickly cover the cookieless world. Sorry, are there any questions?
Yes, I'm just going to read out a question. How does data, machine learning, or AI, etc., play a role in the winning strategies you just talked about? Yeah, you more or less touched on it.
We just covered it. Yeah. I'm just going through the questions. Isn't usually tough to get competitor intel to be able to optimize some of all the search? Yeah. So it is and it isn't, depending on what you're investing in. So there are quite a few tools out there on the market. We as eClerks have a competitor intelligence service that we provide. So there are ways in which you can get the competitor intel and use it for your own benefit. Now, obviously, there is a limit to what you can and you can't get. I don't think anyone would be able to get what a competitor is spending in a particular channel, but there are certain things in terms of what sort of products your competitor is carrying, using all the publicly available information, you would be able to get that.
Okay, you can carry on now. Sure. I think we'll go to the very last question right at the bottom, but that'll be after you've finished.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let me quickly finish. I won't take a lot of time. So one of the things that we are seeing, and a couple of our clients have asked us, how do you prepare for this, is the phasing of third-party cookies. Now, what that means for, say, a particular retailer is you would not be able to target a particular customer the way you would have otherwise targeted in the current world. Because currently, because of third-party cookies, you're able to track a customer across multiple domains, multiple websites, etc., and show them the exact product that you want them to buy. But what's happening is, for example, Google has come up with this logic whereby they will not let third-party cookies exist anymore. And at the same time, they'll also try to give you a solution, which is what we've identified here as Flock, Google Flock. It's federated learning of cohorts. So what they're trying to do is sort of give you a segment or give you like a metadata of the customer along with other customers, so that you don't actually know who, say, Prasad is, but you know that Prasad belongs to this group of individuals who have certain preferences, thereby still helping you target. Now, we have actually spoken to quite a few of, I'll skip a lot of the material because of time constraints, but one thing that I would like to share with you is what we have seen some of our clients do. In general, the sense is that while there will be certain challenges in terms of how various companies are going to advertise and where they're going to spend, in a way, they're all happy about it, because not so long ago, about 20 years ago, we didn't have this concept of third-party cookie at all. It was all about first-party cookie. But there is a general belief that companies haven't really tapped a lot into first-party cookies themselves or the data being provided by those cookies. So it'll sort of force companies to focus more on that data rather than actually worrying about what they can't do. In addition to that, there are a lot of things like contextual targeting. Instead of trying to get to, say, track an individual customer at the most granular level, people will think about, okay, if you're a travel company, maybe you will focus on certain, say, Facebook groups where travel ideas are being shared, etc. And that gives you a sense of more conversion, higher conversion, and stuff like that. And similarly, what we have seen is clients are actually quite excited about this. They believe that it'll encourage them to be more experimental and more like steadfast in what they're trying to achieve, rather than just relying on a lot of agencies that provide the third-party cookies for them. So all in all, it is a very evolving topic. It's a very interesting topic. I think the potential is endless, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of it in the near future. So I know, Shola, I've gone slightly over time,
No,
so I'll
that's fine.
stop here and see
Yeah,
if anyone
I'll
has any
just
questions.
ask the last question, the last question on the list, and
Sure.
this is by Sudhanshu.
Sure.
Now the question is, what is the cost ratio that you see between the investment costs in the digital platforms, like the difference from the pre-pandemic and in the current post-pandemic period? And do you think the investment costs, sorry, will be reduced? Sorry, I'm not sure if I've done justice to the
Yeah, I'm
question.
trying to,
Well,
yeah.
I guess what so is asking is the cost of sales. You know, would they have reduced? Where you spoke
Yeah.
about companies moving from having fixed structures to building more digital. Would there be a reduction in the investment?
Yeah. I mean, I think we are not completely out of the pandemic yet, so it's probably a little early to
That's true.
talk about post-pandemic.
Post-pandemic, that's true.
But one thing that we have seen certainly is companies that are much larger in scale, the likes of Adidas, Nike, etc., have reacted very, very fast because they had to, and they had the resources to react. So they quickly developed a D2C offering, which was already in the works, and have now strongly focused on the digital estate. I do certainly believe that the cost will shift a lot more into the digital investments. Like, for example, Marks and Spencers have a really huge digital program that they're embarking on and are trying to personalize the digital experiences. Not to say that the physical store or any other channel will go out of fashion, but I think the place and what it means to have a physical channel will certainly change. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a fixed number that I can share with you, but I do believe the ratio of spend in digital versus non-digital channels is certainly going to change. I think the rest of the question, yeah, I'm not completely sure about pay scale, etc. I probably won't
Fine.
can't
That's
answer
fine.
that.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you very much, Prasad.
Thanks a lot,
Um,
guys.
yeah, so that's a lot of information that you're given. Now I'm just going to introduce Miher Talpade into the webinar.
Let me just stop sharing.
So yes, thank you very much. Now, Meher's specialization, I didn't know this about Meher, but it was actually, he actually did a lot in robotics and data communications back then as a discipline. But in terms of his professional experience, he's got a 20-year experience that spans different areas of the digital sphere, including software operations, transitions, pre-sales, and consulting. For eClerx, he is actually part of the team driving campaign operations management. Now, Miher will be talking on second level details on enablers of transformation. So Miher, thank you.
Thanks, Shola. Wow, that was a very cool introduction. Nobody's introduced me like that before. Thank you so much.
That's fine.
So first of all, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So after that session from Prasad, what I'm going to do now is we're going to talk more about campaign operations, and we begin campaign operations with the MarTech stack. So I'm going to talk a little bit about trends about the MarTech stack and how people are piling up different tools and different solutions to build that MarTech stack, which is getting more and more complex, and how we as eClerx, we go ahead, assist some of our clients trying to untangle that MarTech stack, trying to make them understand there are some things which are redundant. You can actually do away with that and save some money. And yes, we can also talk about getting some other integrations in place, which can actually help with your business. So if you see the stack now, this is an example of a MarTech stack. If you notice, there are a lot of tools connected. There's a CRM here, there's Salesforce, and a lot of tools connected here and there, which basically make it extremely complex, like I mentioned earlier. What we normally do is we talk to our clients and we go ahead and try and simplify the stack. Now, if you see this diagram over here, what we've done is we've categorized the stack into things like workflow. We have web. We got analytics here. We got lead management. So we've gone ahead, categorized things. We've stuck in the icons of the different tools which they have invested in. This gives a clearer picture. And this is a stack view for maybe like a high level, a director level person who just wants to know what kind of tools the company has invested in. And then, we do our analysis. So this is like a case study which we had done for one of our clients. So we do our analysis. We stack them up like this in a better representative form. We do analysis on each and every tools which are actually purchased and try to figure out what kind of native connections are possible through that tool. Then we go ahead and see how they're connected. So the CRM, for example, Salesforce, a lot of third-party platforms can connect to it. So we'll go ahead and see what kind of connections this client has already done. We then go ahead and actually talk to the different business partners for that client to see if there is actually a need for those connections. and if there is a need for those tools as well. And then we go ahead, give them a recommendation on what can be removed and what can be invested in. It'll be very surprising, but normally when we do this analysis, we always find out that there are 2 or 3 redundant tools which are actually doing the same thing. That's because one tool was purchased some time back, and then somebody comes up with an idea of using a tool without understanding that there is another tool which is actually doing the same thing. Maybe it's with another business unit of the same organization. So there are a lot of benefits to do this. You unclutter your stack. For this example, we realized, the client realized like a $350K dollar savings by removing those tools, and we were able to go ahead and recommend some additional tools which the client appreciated, which actually helped them with their business. Now let's talk about trends across assets. Now, campaign operations has undergone a lot of changes. Gone are the days when people used to just pick up a list, make one email, and blast it out to everybody. Today, it's more about personalization, and also it's more about using multiple technologies in campaign operations. I have listed out a few. There are many more, but looking at the time, I've just listed out a few. So if you look at tool sets, right, there's something new in the market. Google has introduced AMP emails. AMP emails is AHTML, next generation coding, which basically adds super personalization to your emails. We at eClerks do a lot of AMP coding for our clients. Just to give you a flavor of how it looks. So this is an email, and you could have a carousel, you can go ahead and make people purchase directly from your email. So these are different variants of using the AMP emails. You can even have drop downs directly in your email. If you look at this, some more examples. You can have a product catalog directly in your email itself. Gone are the days when you just show a couple of static images and then the person clicks on it and it goes to the retail website. Over here, you can actually build your product catalog and it will actually look like a live web page itself. You can do all this with AMP.
So if you don't mind my interjecting me here. So basically what you're saying is that the emails are a lot more interactive now, as in you can interact with the products via the email.
That's true. That's absolutely correct. You can interact with your product. If you want, you can even make a person. If you see the example over here, the person can even do e-commerce. You can just click on buy now, and you can go ahead and purchase products directly from your email. Some more examples, if you notice over here, in the email itself, this is not Gmail, right? In the email itself, I can reply. So like a ticketing system, right? You can have that functionality within your email itself. And you don't need anything special. You just need to write the HTML code, and you can have the entire ticketing experience within the email itself. Let's come to email builder. Now, in today's time, what we've noticed is that clients may not be able to spend a lot on hardcore developers because developers need HTML, CSS, media queries, JavaScript. Now, these are all languages which the developer needs to know, and they're quite expensive to onboard. The client himself may not be able to onboard such resources, again, because of the pricing. So we've gone ahead and created our own proprietary tool. It's an email it's an email builder, which basically allows you to drag and drop and build an email. So even if you don't know how to build an email, even if you don't have HTML knowledge, a person can actually use this tool, drag and drop, and build a standard email within a couple of minutes. There are other functionalities like translations and things like that, which we have embedded based on our client needs. But we've been quite successful in selling this concept to a lot of our clients, simply because it's very scalable. It links to any marketing automation platform. So the client could be on an Eloqua, it could be on a Marketo, it could be on a Pardot, but our system will easily create code which can be fed directly into those systems so that your email looks the way it's supposed to look within that marketing automation platform. Video emails. Now, this is something new. There are a lot of third-party providers which give you video emails, but the experience is quite nice. Now, earlier days when you wanted video in your emails, it could be an animated GIF, or it could be like a small image. You click on it and then it takes you to a YouTube page where the video actually plays. But now with the new technologies in place, you can actually run a video within your email itself. I do have some samples here, but before that, this system will optimize for any kind of browser. It could be a mobile device, it could be a desktop, or it could be a laptop. It could be a slow internet connection on a 3G network, or it could be a fast 4G or a 5G network. But it's going to optimize depending on what device you have and depending on your internet connection. Your video could be hosted on any of these platforms. As I said over here, there's YouTube, there's Vimeo, there's Facebook, Instagram, and many more are coming in. It gives some really nice analytic reports. I have a screen on that as well. And it's very easy, right? You have your videos already hosted on platforms. All you're doing is just calling them in your email. So you don't have to actually build a video which is compatible, or which is built specifically customized for an email platform. You can have any video and it will automatically customize and optimize. You get a lot of analytics from these platforms. You can figure out the email client, what operating systems are there, when the person opened, day of the week, time of the week, which basically allows you to even plan your marketing campaigns better. I do have an example over here. It's a small snippet which we created for one of our clients. If you notice, this is my Gmail box. And when I go in it, now this is an email. And if you notice, it's actually playing in my Gmail itself. And this is not a GIF, this is actually a video, which is hosted. This is an example of Dell. So it is hosted by Dell, and it's actually playing directly within the email itself. It gives another flavor to the emails, the dry static emails which we normally use. It actually gives another flavor. And of course, when you click on it, you can actually program it to either go to that actual video, or it can even go to a different web page. So all those functionalities are definitely available when you're building video emails.
I was going to ask a quick question, Mihir, without taking you off track. Now, we all know that campaigns are there to generate leads. That's the sole purpose of campaigns. Now, do you have any kind of stats or any kind of information on the success of these new technologies, especially when it comes to digital operation, encouraging the whole idea of digital transformation?
So I don't have the stats handy, but based on our information, so we've done a lot of POCs for a lot of our clients. So the video email definitely is a hit because it definitely helps people enjoy the video and then add that extra level by clicking onto it. So it increases the click rate.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Right. And AMP emails, again, very nice, very good technology, because you don't have to leave your email. You do everything within the email itself. So there are many clients, many customers, me included. So I hate multiple windows open on my laptop, right? So if my Google Chrome has more than three tabs open, then it irritates me. So if I can do everything within my email itself, then it really helps. And we have noticed AMP emails, they have a very high success rate. Again, improves the click rate significantly. You can definitely embed your lead generation forms within the AMP email itself. So the person is just filling up everything on the email. When he submits it, it goes straight into our CRM.
Perfect.
And then we have plugins right now with the new plugins coming in. Obviously, there's SMS, there's WhatsApp. So we do have plugins built for all our clients where we can connect these plugins to all their marketing automation platforms, and it adds additional channels for marketing. So now you can have an email, a journey which was earlier sending maybe only emails, but now you can have a journey which sends an SMS, sends WhatsApp messages, it sends emails as well. So that adds additional flavors or additional channels for your marketing campaigns. Let's talk a little bit more about personalization. So personalization has also changed drastically. Now, if you see some new trends in personalization, now this is for one of our clients. Now this client has 4 brands, but what we've done over here is their 4 brands have different layouts, different color schemas, and even their font family there is completely different. In general, we would have to actually build, and this is how the client was earlier. They had multiple templates for all their families, which obviously increases complexities when you want to update something. When the brand is changing, then those updates are always tedious, and always there's a possibility of a miss or an error. What we've gone ahead and done is we went ahead, created one template, and this template is very personalized and dynamic. So depending on the brand, the entire layout changes, the branding changes, the color schemas change, and all the components which you see over here, you see 1, 2, and 3 in both these templates. These components are also personalized. So depending on the brand, depending on what needs to be promoted or marketed, these components automatically feed into this template. So now we need to manage only one template, and we just have to ensure that the data which is connected to this template actually has the elements which will make this template function. So this is a good example where we've done a lot of personalization, a lot of dynamism in order to ensure it helps the client in the maintenance as well as in their promotions. This is an example with Adobe, but yes, this can be done with quite a lot of other marketing automation platforms as well. Now, this is another example of personalization. Now, again, we have one template, and this is basically using Salesforce Marketing Cloud. But if you notice, it's one template. However, based on the language selected by the customer, the components in this template change. So if it's a person who selected English, then it's going to be completely in English. If it's somebody who selected Thai, then it's going to be Thai. Or if it's Vietnamese, then it's going to be Vietnamese. The offers, the promotion content, all those dynamically change again, depending on the type of client or type of customer. So again, this is a very personalized newsletter, which we are, and we're building many more like these for our other clients as well. This is again a similar example. Now, this is for a client who has multiple restaurants. Over here, what we're trying to do is for each restaurant, we are trying to actually show the kind of feedback they're receiving back from their customers. And we are also trying to show how far they are away from the best restaurant. So basically adding competition so that they understand that, the best restaurant has this score and my score is actually this. So, and this is again dynamic. It's not 3 separate templates, it's one template, just that the elements get populated at runtime, depending on which restaurant manager this email is going to. Some more innovations with everybody switching to dark mode. Everybody seems to like their mobiles with a black screen. Even Google Chrome now has a black screen. I think even Windows is going to come with a dark mode. So even emails now need to be redesigned so that when they're opened on a device with dark mode on, they're actually viewable, because a normal email, if you open in dark mode, it really does not look good. So we are keeping up with the time. Dark modes is in, so we are going ahead and redesigning all our emails to support dark mode. There's something new out in the market called send time optimization. Now, send time optimization in some marketing automation platforms, it's automated. In some, it's manual. But basically, it's an AI-driven approach where it will check to see for each person when, on what day and what time does this person actually open his email. So now the next feature is that I'll schedule my email. The email will go out, but if Mihir likes to open his marketing emails on, let's say, a Sunday afternoon after he's had his lunch, then I will receive that email only on a Sunday afternoon. If Shola likes to open it on a Monday morning, right before he starts his work, then he will receive the email automatically on a Monday morning. So that is what we've been doing with send time optimization. So that is a really innovative way of sending out emails. Our own proprietary post-production audit, it's quite an interesting case study. Everybody's heard of life cycle campaigns. Now, life cycle campaigns are those campaigns which run on a daily basis. Normally, any organization, when they make such a campaign, just before launch, they will check to see, if the email is fine, if it's rendering okay, if there are no broken links. Once all checks are passed, they will launch the campaign. However, after that, there are no checks. You need to remember this is a daily running campaign. So maybe today it's working fine, but let's say after 2 months, the merchant page where the link is taking the customer, maybe that page is broken, or maybe Apple made some changes because of which it's no longer rendering properly on Apple devices. Normally, these checks are avoided or not done. So in order to prevent that, we went ahead and created something called a post-production audit mechanism. Now, it's a bot-based system, which is auditing all emails which are going out on a daily basis. We have a lot of check parameters, and the moment it sees an error, it flags it. It tells us if there are any problems. Yes, I do understand the email has gone out, but the idea is we get the flag, we stop execution so that the next email will not be executed. We can correct it and we can restart the campaign. So this actually helps prevent a lot of bad experience. And because of the bots, it's really fast. We can actually do 800 emails in an hour. And of course, in case there are more emails coming out, then we can increase the number of bots. So the rate of audit can be increased as well.
And just a quick question, Meher. So all these emails are personalized as well. That's what you're saying.
Right. These are personalized emails. Now, if you look at this screen, these are the things it checks, right? Now, if you see over here, there is an extra white line. Now, this system will actually figure out that there is a spacing error. This could be a rendering error because of some changes. If you look at this, for example, this image is, maybe it doesn't look very clear over here, but this image is bigger than this image, the eBay image. It's going to flag that out as well. So it's quite possible that images are normally shared. So maybe somebody overwrote this image, and that's why this has happened. Example number 3, it's broken. If you notice, this is like a broken image over here. So this is going to flag that, there's a broken image. Please look at it immediately. It also does alignment issues. If you notice, these are aligned, but this thing is out of alignment. Again, it could be a rendering issue, or maybe something's gone wrong with the text. Additional white lines have been added. So it's going to start and pick up all these issues automatically, and it's going to flag them. This is my last section. I know, Shola, I may be going overboard now, but this is my last section. I just want to, am I overboard already?
Yes, you are. But I think we've got, we'll give you a couple more minutes, and we'll take 1 or 2 questions. And
this is just an example of how complex and intricate now the integrations are becoming now. So if you look at this, this is This is an integration where we've gone ahead and integrated a lot of sources. There are around 5 lead sources over here. They have been integrated with the marketing automation platform. This platform integration will, do all the scrubbing, merging, dedupe activities, standardization. It will do everything. Once the merger is complete, it's actually going to launch a campaign, a lead gen campaign, where we will, we have a scoring mechanism also in place. So this nurture will basically measure the scores, and whenever the positive outcome is positive, it routes it straight to the salesperson. So it's completely automated. The salesperson does not need to figure out which lead do I interact to. The person just going to interact to the leads which he gets routed via this automation. We accept leads from all these sources. So again, no manual intervention of loading an Excel file, trying to scrub it, trying to standardize it. It's all done in an automated fashion. So we've done this for some of our clients. The results are quite amazing. There's a revenue impact. There's a form abandonment rate impact because we have started using pre-filled forms. So that also impacts over there. And of course, the leads passing to the sales team, they're really qualified and they're really hot leads. So the sales team definitely knows that these are people I really need to talk to. Yeah, that's all from me, Shola.
Thank you very much, Mihir. Now,
I think there are a few questions. Yeah, go on, Shola.
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of questions here. We'll have time for just two, and I'll just pick. I think I'll pick one. Now, does your team have expertise in platform migration? I think I'll merge that with this second question here, and that's building lead scoring models for lead generation.
Good question, Shola. So yes, we do have a lot of experience in platform migrations. We've done a lot. In fact, my teams are currently doing a couple of platform migrations for clients as well. And this will involve, moving assets, moving forms, rebuilding emails and other assets, stopping and starting the entire campaigns from one platform to the other, parallel running. Also involves things like throttling, IP warming. So yeah, we do have a lot of expertise in platform migration. With regards to lead scoring, again, we follow a two-pronged approach. The first one could be, we'll just recommend what kind of lead scoring and grading, that goes hand in hand. So what kind of scoring and grading we should do. And then we observe to see if it's actually working for the next couple of months. The other is a more analytical way where we'll take historical data. We'll try to figure out what was converting, which leads actually converted, why did they convert, and then try and come up with a model, which ideally is more accurate, but definitely time consuming. So the quick and dirty, or we could definitely take the longer route, look at historical data and get a better lead scoring model.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, some more questions are pouring in, but I think we're just going to have time for one more question. It says, how do you track revenue generated from a campaign digitally? And what's the best tool to use in achieving that?
Yeah, I can probably take that.
Okay. Yeah.
So there are multiple. Sorry, Mihir, were you about to say something?
You can both take it. Prasad, please go on.
Yeah. So there are multiple ways in which the revenue can be tracked, and it depends on what the client has gone for, and depends on the campaign. For example, if it is say below the line campaign with a very direct, say, coupon code or an offer that we can directly tie to a transaction, it's very easy to track. It's just summing up the impact. But then if it's more of an above the line campaign where you don't necessarily try to get the customer to purchase, but rather put a branded message out, that's where more advanced techniques like attribution, etc., come in.
Now, if you're looking for a tool to directly answer your question, certainly a lot of the analytics tools like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics do have basic attribution that you can use, last click, last touch, linear distribution, etc. But there is no one specific tool that sort of outranks everything and I can recommend. What I would say is a more customized approach to solving a particular client's problem is recommended.
Fine. A couple of questions have come in, but I think we'll just I'll just like to wrap the webinar up here. I'd like to say thank you everyone for attending. I'd like to say a special thank you to our panelists, Miher Talpade and Prasad Kadiala. Yes, just to say that, eClerx as an organization, technology is in our DNA, and there's a lot we can do and fulfill for your organization, whether it's public or private sector. There's a lot we do. Now, again, the Accelerating Digital Operations series is I believe is here to stay. And I'd like everyone who's attended to watch out for this space, because we'll be coming up with more and more episodes of what's going on, what the latest trends are digitally. Now, like Prasad said earlier on, it's not post-pandemic yet, because we're still in the pandemic and there's a lot changing, so to give your organization that competitive advantage, we would say, stay in touch and stay tuned to the next few episodes that will be coming up on accelerating digital operations. So for now, we'd like to say thank you, and we'd like to say goodbye to everyone.